What?
I can see that. As here we go, Balrog hit level 6, and Faker missed everything.
His death loses them to Drake as well. We're going to watch the replay here. Not on a wall, you'll notice no deep vision from SKT because they hadn't been able to play aggressively. Predator's popped, Faker knows what he's up to. Tries to not flash, and then he realizes that he's just been, you know, a little bit too steady on the trigger finger.
Defensive, maybe even out of range, but I'm gonna have to hold that thought here as Linderong has to flash away from this one, and that's about as easy a kill as you can ask for. New Aatrox.
Now your laning phase is much weaker. He loses to many lane opponents, especially with ganks, and that just means it's such a different proposition. He's almost a new champion, even though the rework wasn't as big this time.
Literally just too far
away. And worst comes to worst, if that damn pesky jungler's camping,
here we go again.
I'll get out. Now he doesn't even have ult.
He doesn't even have ult. He's almost dead.
Yeah.
Look at Balrog. He's like, yeah, what did you expect? I'm leaving.
Always around one item, Trinity Force, when suddenly Grace has very little threat on his enemy. Teddy walking up. He actually gets
the
blow on
binding.
Kellen.
Kellen missed the binding, but the exhaust is going to be enough to help him out here. Faker.
Drakes, all of them high value, will be a lot to give over to Jin Air. Looking for a catch in mid-lane. Root's low.
Taking a ton of damage, has to blow that ultimate. And now we get the knock up here onto Balrog, who has to go golden. And the flash on in. They're looking to burst down this guy as Clid is going to bite the dust.
Started. Can SKT do anything other than just posture around this?
Big shield from the Lux, but Khan already getting into the back line. And Root with no ultimate is just going to burn away, as does the Lux here. But Linderong on that team fight you were talking about with the Aatrox going forward. Khan here trying to get aggressive onto Grace, but he is going to be too much.
Picked up that objective, otherwise it might have all been for naught. We watched the replay here. Remember, no jungler is present, so SKT need to fight. And we also remember that Root ulted earlier in the 1v1. That gave Akali the ability to lick her lips, pick up the enemy AD carry. It doesn't win them the team fight. It's obviously very even overall, and Linderong can be such a powerful frontliner. The most critical fact is that
in particular, just get straight to the fight. So the cloud actually not super low. And speaking of which, and getting into fights, we're going to click the first person we see. They get Mata, but here comes the TP. Grace in the front line is going to be denying a bunch of damage, but Mata still alive for so long. And here's Khan trying to get into the back line. Will he have that damage? Yeah, he goes through 4 people, but now is on the run and is going to be dunked on the backside of this fight. So did
SKT waiting for their respawn timers, and even though Jinna trade up, Root.
Oh, Root trying to go 1v1 once again here. Oh, nice stopwatch, but you're dead, buddy, as he will be dunked there by the bomb.
Back from base with the death still on the rift. Root had no business walking up, and he was baited into another trade farm solution. We're gonna watch the replay how this starts. Mata has to stay alive. Things change. It's up Linderong.
We're cutting it short here as Linderong is trying to be hunted down here from Clid, is going to get on top of him, and one more swipe means that the shutdown will go
Baron area. But these are the plays you want to make. Sadly for Linderong, he thinks he's fine, and he very clearly is not, because this is Black Cleaver on the Rek'Sai, and this is Linderong playing like it's old Aatrox. Old Aatrox, you make a small mistake, like, oh crap, I'll press my ultimate.
Yeah.
You ain't got that.
Which is where they're hanging around right now.
Trying to click on the right. And there's Malrang.
Okay, Malrang once again, just blow up the Nautilus and go from there. That seems to be the strategy, but Grace, he's got something else to say as now Khan, take a look at him in the back line, but doesn't find his man here, doesn't ton of damage and will go into the Zhonya's, but it's not enough to stay alive. And now take a look at Linderong. Finally getting that Aatrox value, takes down one, has the healing, and this guy just doesn't die. As finally will be able to make that blood well work for him, but Faker now with the red buff going forward, trying to burst down Root. He's gonna not be able to go down, and now it's the Teddy Show going one by one. And here's Grace off the TP. Teddy is two of them do not have that smite, and they're not going to go in and just die. So the Baron, after that big fight, will go the way of Jinx.
And it was Mada blew up, and the reason for that is I had a chance to look over. Did Aatrox pop his ult and get an assist? The answer was no. So Linderong doesn't have invulnerability to start this fight, so it does become a battle of dive. I love that Linderong understands that he's not an unkillable frontliner. He needs to peel. And peeling, the choice to peel and stop Khan getting kills here is the reason they have a chance, because that's where the reset comes from. The decision to peel and delay when he pressed his ult. We laughed at his ults in the 1v1s where they weren't getting anything. This time Linderong plays the fight correctly, and now, for the first time in the LCK, we do see that very potent Aatrox, and also just how frustrating those Lux shields can be.
Keeps him alive for ages in this fight, and he was really the one guy going forward and leading the rest.
Standing gold on the map, but JVNA, what's the replay all about? Lose out, 4,000.
Already with that mountain, and let's take a look, the flash on in, it will go the way of Skarner, but Mata able to set up this team fight, and already though, he is gonna go down as Khan, or actually that was Clip getting into the back line.
Across two teams. Anyone dies, and we've already talked about how much it reverberates around a teamfight win. SKT is surprised with how decisive this Elder taken, and Mada tries to force something when he understands the Elder was probably low. They did not have a spot on exactly what the health bar was, and then it just goes like this, right? It'll just roll through. There's no frontline anymore. Faker uses QSS, I believe, but regardless.
They do have vision this time, but it's just dying too fast once again. Will go the way of Grace, or rather Malrong, on that Skarner. Khan, he's going to TP in, but they can't find any kills.
They don't know he's there, but it's too late for him to force anything. Maybe they get a pick.
Okay, well, Grace, you're in a bit of trouble here. He's all alone. The rest of his team, okay. Going to go into ult, into Zhonya's, but he's still going to go down. Sure. Okay, how about just go for... Wow.
That was a big... The minions will do the work if SKT try an extended defense.
Well, this is one way to do it. They're going to find the guy that doesn't have the QSS. We mentioned it so many times, but they find the jungler too, as Rek'Sai immediately goes down. As this pick composition from the side of JVNA seems to be too much for SKT to handle. So they're still trying to threaten it here, 4v5. They still have a couple of AD carries that are desperately trying to unleash that damage. Not really finding the angle as the lanes are pushing in. Faker's gonna go down! Root is gonna assassinate him on the front line. Gets knocked up, and everybody else on the side of SKT will not be able to have enough as double kill comes in. TPs are coming in, and we are going to game number 3.
A surprising game 3, but a welcome one, Valdez. JVNA will not go down without a fight. 3 games against the MSI representative. Malrong stops Teddy, and Teddy's going to have to deal with a 3rd game against his old org.
Wow, definitely not a result we were expecting, especially after JVNA kind of threw that one away in game number 1. Game number 2, much cleaner, and definitely a big-time win for them to take even 1 game away from SKT.
And there were interviews with Coach Han after spring season where they were asked, obviously, open questions about what summer could represent.